Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another show. Because I'm doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 7th December 2024. Today we're making a video inspired by Sir Wins-A-Lot, right? He was answering a comment on a video that he liked, and the video that he liked was inspired by a character on Breaking Bad. So we're talking about Jesse Pinkman. We're talking about why is Jesse Pinkman the unsung hero. Listen, I'll be completely honest. I never saw the attraction to Breaking Bad. And I know what you're saying, bro, Breaking Bad is so good, what are you doing? Now, the truth is, I started watching the show a couple of times, didn't fall in love with it. Started watching the show, I was playing Elden Ring, my first playthrough, which was 3 years ago, and wasn't falling in love with it. It took me to be in a depression and watch the whole thing in one shot to really understand why people like this show. So Breaking Bad, once again, possibly one of the best show on TV. AMC was cooking. AMC had Breaking Bad. If you're gonna drink responsibly, please. This is not a. I wonder. I feel bad because Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, which played Jesse Pinkman and Walter White, respectively, have this tequila. The two of them, they have this tequila together. So I was supposed to say, and I actually went on Google to check the name of it. To say, hey, let's drink responsibly. This is not the name of the bottle, but I couldn't remember it, so it's not a big deal. But the cool thing is, I really, you see, I'm gonna tell you guys even a bigger secret, an even bigger secret. You wanna know the even bigger secret? When I first watched Breaking Bad, I didn't like it. I thought it was okay, right? And then I watched Better Call Saul, and I fell in love with Better Call Saul. I associate myself. I saw a lot of things that are relatable with the character of Slim Jim and myself, somebody that's willing to do the good and willing to curb a couple of rules, but still have good intention, right? And I really fell in love with Better Call Saul because, again, the character of Jim, the character of him saying "fuck you," him saying like, "Oh, you don't give me my chance." I made me think in the past. Yes, I understand that, but you're not giving my chance, right? And funnily enough, that pushed me to watch Breaking Bad. And now I know what you're saying. The Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are the same universe, but if you really think about it, there's a really good reason as to why Jesse Pinkman is my favorite character. There's a really good reason as to why we're making this video on Jesse Pinkman. And the very good reason as to why we're doing it is because even if you look at Better Call Saul, who's your favorite character? Because I don't know, if you're me, you'd say Nacho. Nacho is my favorite character. Now, Nacho is a secondary character. Jesse Pinkman is a secondary character. Now, I know what you're gonna say, bro. The main character is Walter White, right? Why not say him? There's a really good reason, and again, I do think that Walter White is an amazing character. But as a whole experience, as a whole series, the evolution of the character, but not so much the evolution, the actual story arc of Walter White, to me, is not even close to being as good as Jesse. See, it's not necessarily against Walter White. Walter White is of a certain age. He has a family. Yes, he's Eisenberg. He's a drug dealing genius, right? And he works with people like Gus. He works with people like what's the name of the guy? The fucking guy in the first season, the crazy guy. Tuco. Yeah, Tuco. And see, the beautiful thing is, even though he's working with these people, his life doesn't really change, right? He hides the money with Skylar, and then when he discovered the money, then he's like, yo, guess what? It's okay, we still have the money. The first kind of change and the relationship is when they break up, right? But apart from that, there's not really a change from Walter White. There's another change when he's becoming divorced, and you see a very dark Walter White, but that's in the 6th season. The reason why Jesse Pinkman is my personal unsung hero is he started off as this fucking weak character, right? Yes, he does. He does cook. Right? He does cook, but his product is not great. He does cook, but doesn't cook alone. He cooks with people that don't like him. See, when his cousin get in prison, they don't trust Jesse. It's like, oh, you have something to do with it, right? Even if Jesse didn't have anything to do with it, right? They still push him. So he's working in an environment where they don't trust him. And even if you see his boys, and that's the thing with Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Pinkman is more so in that life, and I believe that's a problem of Jesse Pinkman. See, Walter White was able to say, "Yo, I have to be in this life to make some cash, but I'm out of it." It's like a job. Jesse Pinkman was his old universe. We remember when he got kidnapped by the two the two junkies, and they had this kid, right? Who was there for him? Jesse. See, the good thing about Jesse is he's that guy with a good heart, right? And Walter White, to a certain degree, yes, he's a kind person, but at the very beginning of the series, you got a Walter White that is very not necessarily weak, but more so subservient, which we saw the movie today with Megan Fox, which was fucking phenomenal, by the way. And it's the character of Walter White. The beauty of Walter White is he constantly got knocked down, he constantly got pushed around, right? And then he got tired of it, and he was like, "No, I'm the guy who knocks." And that's why we love the character of Bryan Cranston, because once again he did the effort to move forward, right? And it's funny because at the same time, Jesse was the complete opposite. Jesse was also a junkie. See, in a lot of ways, Walter White saved the life of Jesse, because Jesse, the first thing he does when he gets cash, he gets high. The first thing when he has a girlfriend, he gets high. He doesn't go to work, right? And Walter White is always this person that brings him back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, right? You see his girlfriend. If with his girlfriend, he would have done with an OD, right? And ooh, this is this is strong, bro. But see, with Jesse, if it wasn't, and I know this isn't a horrible thing to say, but the character of Jesse Pinkman was almost better off dead in the very beginning. See, as three friends, we're talking about Skinny Pete. We're talking about what was the name of the guy with the person here? I forget. The guy who told him the RV. The guy who we got into business with. I forget. It's. I was supposed to make this video. Usually, I'm more prepared than this. But he had a group of three people, right? And those three people, they died. They at the very end they died, and not the very end, but they died, and that affected Jesse. He had his girlfriend, and she was killed. Jesse was kidnapped at the very end. He was held hostage to cook, right? And see, in more case than one, Jesse suffers, and he constantly suffers. We always remember, and when he starts to escape, right, and they kill his girlfriend, and you see the face of Aaron Paul, and Aaron Paul is a brilliant artist, but Jesse Pinkman is such a fat character. We remember the party that he has, non-stop parties, where the music was so loud because he couldn't handle thinking, right? And yes, do I believe that Walter White? Do I believe that Walter White was? See, it's kind of a complicated thing when you really think about it. The reason why I love Jesse so much is when you think about Walter White. Did he suffer? Of course he did. But at the same time, see, Walter White earned immediate respect, which Jesse had to earn. Why is one guy having immediate respect? That's not good. And also the thing is, you say, hey, there's 50% of the, not necessarily the cash, but hey, with a product we get 50-50. Which is fair, 50-50 is fair. But then Jesse suffered so much more, put in so much more than Walter, right? And it's a shame because Jesse growth come from pain. Jesse, see, the two characters are complete duality. There's a complete duality, which is fantastic. The first character, which is Jesse, grows from pain. He grows from getting hurt, and his character change. And the person that you see in season one is completely different from the people that you saw in the last season, right? And then you get the character of Walter that grows through power. See how he would be kind of subservient to his stepbrother, which was Hank. And Hank was the guy who was kind of in charge of his family, right? And there's even making a scene, a huge scene, which means a lot to the story, when Hank takes the son of Walter Jr., right? And he takes Walter Jr. and says, hey, have a drink. Then Walter says no. And then Hank says, go ahead. And Walter has to say, I'm the fucking father here. If I say no, it's no. And to a certain degree, you feel bad for that. But that's kind of the most adversity that Walter White has. You know, and even then, but at the same time, Jesse is not necessarily a victim, but he's possibly one of the most possibly. How can I say that? He's the character that suffered the most, but the people that cared about him the most. Now, even Walter White, people would have cared about him, but he wouldn't let them in. You see, the reason why Gustavo liked Jesse so much Walter so much because we're the same. But everybody else preferred Jesse. Mike rather work with Jesse, and of course it was to take care of him, to kind of control him because he was a bit more volatile than Walter, right? But I don't know, man. I don't know. See, Walter White, did he allow people to help him? And the answer is no. But every person that Jesse ever had was he was hurt. But the saddest thing is really the wife, the girlfriend, because it's a shame, dude. It's a shame because Jesse was out of the game. See, if I had to resume the video, because this is a long video where I'm looking for my words a lot. I'm not drunk, but you feel bad for Jess, right? I'm reading Tokyo Ghoul right now, and we're playing Tokyo Ghoul, by the way, right? And I think the character, the main character, is perfect, right? Walter White's story is the main character. It's a story of a guy who kept getting pushed, and now he's one of the most powerful guy in New Mexico, Albuquerque. The story of Walter is how a normal person became the most wealthy man once he bent the rules. He bent the rules for a society that didn't give a shit about him, right? Walter White felt justified. Walter White felt like justice. He felt justified, but he also felt like justice. Like, he's a criminal, but I get what he's doing like that. Walter White was the anti-hero he stood up for. His story is the story of a rise. You know? He's the perfect character that started as a farmer but ends up being king. Right? And then you have Jesse. And if Jesse was the main character of the story, Breaking Bad would be a tragedy. And that sucks. Because Jesse is flawed. But he's there and he works hard. And he improves. There's more growth in Jesse in one season than in Walter the whole show. Unsung hero.